Darius Rucker.
Before we put Darius on in like 30 seconds, I'm going to play a clip. This is Darius, his last time performing at the Grand Ole Opry while people were still in the audience. Okay, here you go.
I'll tell y'all a quick story about Bobby Bones. This is crazy. Bobby's first interview when he was 17 years old was me. And like Bobby's like 40 now, and I'm like 65.
So I thought that was a pretty funny moment. I was thinking about that. Darius, who is the first celebrity that you ever met in your life?
Oh, Ric Flair.
Wow, really? The wrestler?
Oh.
Yeah.
How'd that come together?
It was after a wrestling match, and I was I was a kid, and we were backstage trying to meet him, and he came out, and he was a baby face at the time, so he said hi. And it was cool. I still freak out about that.
What about when you started to get some notoriety with Hootie? Who was the big first celebrity you were like, holy crap, I can't even believe this person knows who I am?
Goodness, good question. I know we were walking through a record label or something, a radio station, and Madonna saw us, and she knew who we were, and I couldn't believe it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Darius Rucker is on. He's got a new song that I love. It's called Beers and Sunshine. We'll play the full thing in a second, but here's a little clip of it now.
Beers and sunshine, bonfires in summertime, back porch nights in South Carolina. Ain't nothing finer than me and my girls striking up a little lighter, 'cause everybody's down in a...
So is this one of the songs that you wrote during the pandemic when Zoom was how everyone was writing songs?
Oh, yeah, we wrote that one like right after a couple months of being locked in, and started writing a bunch, and got with Ross and JT and Josh, and we wrote that one. And it was funny because I never send songs to the label when they're demos, and I sent that one to Brian Wright, and he was like, I think we probably need to cut that as soon as we can. And so we actually had to cut it on Zoom too. Like nobody was in the studio because none of the studios were open, and so that was all done over the internet, everything.
I tell you, one of the cool things, because when I saw you play that song for the first time, or maybe you just texted it to me, I heard it that night, was when you and Clint Black were playing the Opry together. And I'm telling you, and I get to pinch myself now about, every few months. And one of the cool things was watching you and Clint Black. And Clint play lead guitar on Hold My Hand at the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
Freaking cool, man.
That, for me, man, Clint called, and I'm pretty good friends with him. We were talking about what we were going to do, and he was like, man, you gonna play that? Hold My Hand? I was like, yeah. He was like, I was like, you want to play? I was like, yeah. I was like, go play guitar, man. Take the whole solo. He's like, all right, man. I was like, you're Clint Black, dude. Of course you take the whole solo.
And he can still shred too. Like he was going hard on the solo.
He can still play. He can still sing. He's just Clint's. He's a legend, man, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah. After we had finished that show that night, I was talking to Clint on stage. I said, hey, come up to the radio show, and he came up and he sat in the studio and he played a bunch of, and he is so quick. Like when he comes in the room, if you are not ready to joust with him mentally, don't even try to get in a conversation because that guy's quick.
It's so funny you said. I had a buddy that came up the other day to visit me, and he was at my Opry induction. He was talking about the same thing. He said, I said one thing to Clint, and it was on. And I was like, yeah, he's so fast and so smart, and he's so funny. And so if you're right, man, if you're not ready, don't start with Clint.
I think Clint and Tracy Lawrence both played too when you did your St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, Darius and Friends. You did that at the Grand Ole Opry. And let me say this. I would always worry, like, is anybody going to make any money? And you guys made $255,000, so congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you. I was worried, too. I mean, I didn't know what we were going to do, and, we wanted to do something, and I was really surprised. $250,000 is amazing, and I can't thank everybody who supported it enough. Thank y'all, man.
Darius Rucker is on with us, about to get into the new song, Beers and Sunshine. But I got a couple things. I saw you tweeted an article, and I couldn't retweet it fast enough. It said, Darius Rucker is one of the most underrated artists in the last 30 years. As soon as it went up, I was retweeting, then pulling it down and retweeting it again. Like when you see something like that, how does that make you feel?
Like somebody gets it. I guess I don't know. I look at my career, and it's been a cool career. It's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. I don't know if I guess after that thing with CNN, doing a whole show in the 90s and not mentioning Hootie and the Blowfish, you feel kind of disrespected. So when you see something like that, people are paying attention.
Boy, what a slight that was, because I watched it too, and there's, everybody knows I was a massive Hootie and the Blowfish fan. But aside from being a massive fan, you also have to look at the data. Like the literal data of how many records were sold. The fact they left you guys out almost felt to me like it was personal.
For me, it was personal. For me, it was like something that was personal and on purpose. And I can't prove that. I don't know. But, you know, you look at the bands they did mention, these one-hit wonder bands who had one song, came and went, and they went out of their way to mention all those guys. And then you watch the whole show and you realize they did not mention Hootie and the Blowfish or the Dave Matthews Band once. The two of the bands that are still selling tickets today, they didn't mention once. And you look at that and you go, that's either a slight on purpose or the person who did this is a friggin' idiot.
Or they're like a 19-year-old intern that has no idea. I wonder, too, when it comes to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because I think without a doubt, you know, the 25 years after you guys put out your first spot, that you should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Do you ever think about that?
We won't get in. We won't. Not even close. We won't. Dude, we were eligible last year and did not make the ballot.
Now, I guess I understand the hater mentality of something becoming so successful, because we've seen it through different generations where something becomes so big, you just automatically have to hate it because it's so big and you're not cool if you like something that's super cool. You know, that mentality. But eventually that wears off. Eventually, whatever that it kind of goes back to it was before. I will make the prediction that I think you guys will end up making it, because it's going to be one of these that comes back around where everybody goes, man, people were such big jerks to Hootie and the Blowfish for no other reason than they got so successful so fast. Yeah, and I mean, we saw it with the tour. You know, we won, I think, was it Billboard magazine or Rolling Stone magazine, one of the two, you know, the tour of the year. And it was, you know, we got back together and it was one of the biggest tours in the States of the year. And you know, you look at that and you go, okay, cool. But like you say, the lack of respect is what it is. And I hope you're right. I'll be honest with you. If that were to happen, that would be a great day for me. I would be really proud. All right. I was not planning to talk about all that, but I got a little riled up, Darius. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm sitting here.
I saw that.
And I'm angering myself with my own thoughts. This is, but I'm not here to be upset. Darius Rucker is on Beers and Sunshine, which, by the way, Darius has got 9 number ones. Any of your hits, if they were like, all right, Darius, we're only going to know you as one country song. What's the song that you look at and go, if you only get to show one person one song from me, this is it?
It would be, and the funny thing is I didn't write it. It would be If I Told You. If I told you all the stupid things
Why this song?
I didn't write it, and it's probably the most honest song I've ever sung.
That's got to be weird as a songwriter, too, to have a song speak for you so well.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't write it. It feels like a glove.
Oh, I called Shane and said, how could you do that? How could you write my life and not let me be in the room? I mean, you know, it's just crazy. That song is me, and that's the one. All
right. I want to play Beers and Sunshine. I think I need a Xanax. I haven't had one in years. Don't get me going on how Hootie's been slighted, or how don't talk bad about Darius. Just like, I got my little crew of people that I will protect at all costs.
Thank you, Bobby. And I feel the same about you.
I know you do. I appreciate that. All right. Let's see. Here, we're going to play Beers and Sunshine. Hey, what's happening? When are you going to put out? Is this the first of something, or what's the deal?
Oh, yeah. I'm almost done with my records. I'm more than halfway done. I'll hopefully put it out, you know, early next year. No rush. After the holidays, put it out and see what happens.
All right. Hey, is that a Peaky Blinders shirt you're wearing?
It is a Peaky Blinders shirt.
What you think about that show? You love it?
It is my favorite show of all time.
Oh, wow. Of all time?
It is my favorite show of all time.
Wow.
Really?
Well, okay.
I've watched it 3 times. I've watched the whole thing 3 times.
Do you know any of the actors or cast?
I'm going to tell you a story that tells you how great the show is. I don't know any personally, but my favorite actor in the world is Tom Hardy. I just think Tom Hardy is really a special actor. And about season 4, I'm having a beer with my assistant, and we're talking about Peaky Blinders. He goes, "Yeah, man." And I'm talking about Alfie, and he goes, "Yeah, man. You know, Tom Hardy's really good." I was like, "Really? Who's Tom Hardy? I didn't see Tom Hardy in the show." And he said, "Tom Hardy's Alfie." And I run to my phone to look it up, and my favorite character in the show is my favorite actor, and I had no idea for 3 seasons.
And that's how good the show is.
That's how good the show is. Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. Beers and Sunshine. Darius Rucker, good to talk to you, my friend. Have a good day, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Always good to talk to you, Bobby. Take care, man.
All right. See you, Darius.